Hello, this is Ben from the Ben Talk Sports Show, and Noah is alongside me this time. Uh,
Hello.
as you guys may have seen, we've had some quick shorts recently. Keep looking for those pop up. We try to do one every day. Um, yeah, we're gonna try to turn this more into a weekly thing, and we will maybe also add it into a podcast, but it'll be pretty much the same information here, kind of how the Pat McAfee show does it. We're gonna try something a little bit new here. We're gonna try to spend only 5 minutes on each topic, just so we don't end up with another 27-minute video. That will obviously be a general rule with acceptance for mock drafts when that becomes important again. And yeah, so we're gonna spend the first 5 minutes talking about what we're not supposed to be talking about, and that's gonna be coaches. So the first one I want to talk about is Josh McDaniels, the New England offensive coordinator and former Broncos head coach, going to Las Vegas. I know personally, you guys may have heard in last night's reel, if you guys saw that, I am flatly against, just because of the huge amount of support that I'm trying to remember his name, Bisaccia, there we go, Bisaccia had from the locker room with Derek Carr and Max Crosby coming out in favor of keeping him
Yeah,
long term.
it's more about I'm sure he's gonna do fine, but it's more about who you didn't hire than who you did hire. I
I mean,
mean,
it just immediately shows that they have no respect for their players.
McDaniels is. I've said it. I'm not sure if I've said it on the show, but I've said it to you. I think McDaniels is really the only coach that has a chance under Belichick of doing anything by himself. I mean, obviously that seems to be an actual football
Well,
mind,
Brian
not just another
Flores.
not just another Flores, not just another one of Belichick's slaves, and they've
Yeah,
worked together for a long time. But I
you just
mean,
got to make sure it doesn't fall into the same trap of what he did in Denver, right?
it just
One SB Nation reporter said it would have been better to release a live Wolverine into the locker room than hire McDaniels. So
I mean their locker room's already screwed up, so I
that's
guess you
true. I
can't
mean,
make it
they
much
lost two
more
wide
worse.
receivers. One of them's going to be in jail. But all right, next one. Brian DeBole, the Buffalo offensive coordinator, was hired by the New York Giants. I saw a lot of people giving him crap. I'm not sure why exactly. If there's something I'm missing, please let me know. But I mean,
There he's the GM for the Giants.
no, the coach. I
Oh,
don't know what I
different,
said.
different,
Yeah.
different, different.
No,
I
Gettleman. I think
misheard.
Gettleman's spot's still open, as far as I'm aware. But
Mm.
I mean, I like the move. I mean, that offense has been one of the best in the NFL, and he's been there since they started developing Josh Allen. So give him a shot to develop Daniel Jones before you throw him to the side. I don't.
You cut out, so I was like, I thought you were talking about when
No,
they
no, they
gave
did
an
not hire the
honorable.
offensive coordinator to be the GM. That'd be funny
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. No, I know you're talking about now. I think it. I think if you, it's kind of a Hail Mary move. It's like saying, it's like throwing a nail gun at an armadillo and saying, "Can you make me a house?" But
Okay.
it's it's like that thing is so screwed up that I can't see a possible way that this
Yeah,
works.
yeah. I mean, I expect him to get a job somewhere. I can't say it was New York, but
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
honestly I say stay another year if I don't want to go into that toxic wasteland known as the Giants.
Yeah.
But
Um, Brian Hackett, no, your Packers offensive coordinator has failed to go to Denver. I didn't love that plan originally because I was like, we don't know what he's like without Rodgers, without Devontae Adams, and then we were like, wait a minute, those guys are both kind of available. Devontae Adams is a free agent, and I think I can't. I've heard conflicting reports. I cannot tell what Rodgers is, but he has an option to leave this year, either by trade. It might be player option. I can't tell, but both of them could be available. So this is probably speaking of Hail Mary moves, Noah. Here's their
uh,
Hail Mary move.
I I don't like how everyone's just saying that the Broncos need to go all in on this. I feel like they have time. I don't
I
they
think that's
got
definitely true. They are a younger team.
they got rid of all of their older guys on that defense, basically. I mean, Von Miller's obviously on the Rams, doing fine for himself. Uh,
Doing okay.
but that's a very young, Surtain is one of the bigger names there.
Yeah, he looked really good
This
before
is
he
a
got hurt.
young, healthy, really good defense. I think people missed how good their defense was
Oh, I'm not saying
because
they should have hired offense. I just thought they were going to go with someone who was a little bit more defined as a I made this offense, right? That's what I expected them to do.
I was
Somebody,
expecting them
yeah,
to go for the Bills offensive coordinator.
the
That was my
ball that was going to
prediction.
be the ball. I
That
thought they might go for Brian Campbell, who made sure
it could have been
who
that.
put together a great offense in Cincinnati without an O line. Um, just not who I expected, but I mean a good move anyway.
It
I think That's fine.
I mean, these are all ifs. It's like if they get Rodgers, if they get Devontae.
I mean, Drew Lock has looked better this year, right? All the numbers say he looked better. Everybody says he looks better. Now, he doesn't look great.
He looks better.
But that's like saying Sam Darnold looked better in Carolina.
I mean, Locke was struggling to throw quick bullet passes.
Yeah. All right, we have 20 seconds to get through the last head coach, so we're going to zoom through this. The Indianapolis Colts defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, has gone to Chicago. I personally don't like this move just because I don't think they need a defensive head coach. I think they need someone offensive. Noah, you got 10 seconds.
I think that the Bears are a pile of toxic waste, and they're just like, maybe if we make this defense so good, it might work out.
Like in 2017 or 2018. Okay. I don't know how loud that is, but we're out of time there. Okay. We got 5 minutes stuck with the next 2 games. Ready? Go. All right. Bengals Chiefs. The Bengals won. I mean, good for them. What's your view on that, Noah?
I think it's less of the fact that the Bengals won, more of the fact that the Chiefs lost. I mean, the Chiefs were obviously the better team throughout that entire game. Let's be honest here. They should have won that game.
Oh yeah.
That should have never been close.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
You can't put it all on Mahomes, but it's like 80% on Mahomes if I'm looking at it. I mean, Hardman had a bad drop. There's a couple. Kelsey wasn't getting open. Hill was doing Hill things and choking it away, but man, Mahomes did not look good in that second half. We're going to talk about that pass to Hill on the goal line. I'm not sure why he passed it to him.
Oh, that ball needs to be spiked.
It needed to be spiked or just run it into the end zone yourself, dude. It didn't. Yeah. It looks like he's. It's almost. I'm going to be honest. Ever since that injury, besides last year's playoffs, he hasn't looked like he wants to really ever get hit. And, he is a franchise quarterback, but you need to at some point say, okay, I need to get this to win the game. And I get at the point it was in his head 21-3. I'm not going to get hurt going into this. But you score that touchdown, unless you're the Falcons, you win the game.
Yeah.
So I want a little bit more out of Mahomes, especially with the amount of money he's being paid.
Yeah, I mean, what we learned from Cincinnati is I don't think we learned anything new. I think we learned from this game. We've learned a lot from the season. But I think we really just saw the fact that this is a real offense. Now, they have no O-line. Their defense is questionable sometimes. So there's parts of them to fix. But Joe Burrow is the most consistent quarterback in the league. That is not even a question at this point. That is just a fact, and it's crazy.
You're always expecting the same thing, and the thing is, he's the most consistent quarterback with the most inconsistent offensive line.
This is something I just learned today. I've not double-checked anything. If he wins the Super Bowl, he will be the first quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy, a national championship, and a Super Bowl. This is his second year, and by no means was he picked like Lamar Jackson, 32nd overall, right? This is a guy who was picked number 1 to a dumpster fire, who last year that people thought they should fire Zach Taylor.
Let's be honest. Not only is his second year, it's kind of his first
year. It really is his first year.
This is like watching a rookie season, basically.
Yeah,
he's getting used to this offense.
Incredible. I mean, what a crazy. And then they have money now, right? If they decide to spend money, which the Brown family has refused to spend money. But if they decide to spend money, they can finally got some offensive linemen, maybe to add some pieces to the secondary. This team could be legit. And as Ravens fans, I'm a little bit scared. But hey, at least it's not Pittsburgh. At least it's not. I've always found it easier to root for Cincinnati than it is for Pittsburgh. Okay, we have 2 minutes to talk about the other game. Niners-Rams. That game should have been a blowout. The Rams should have blown that game out of the water. The 49ers should have also blown that game out of the water. Neither team wanted to play actual football till like the second half. It was very strange.
I think Garoppolo is going to get framed for this.
He is.
But let's be honest, the 49ers overachieved this year.
They really did. It was just Deebo Samuels running around. I
don't think Kittle's healthy.
He's not.
I've been watching him play. His burst is not there. And the thing is, he's playing it off like it's nothing. And I don't think everyone's like, what happened to Kittle? It's like nothing happened to Kittle. Just Deebo looks so good. But I'm looking at him run, and it's like he almost looks hobbled, like
he does,
like Gronk does right now. It's like he does not look 100% healthy, and it's at this point you got to start saying, oh my God, is he going to be an injury?
I don't know. I think I hate calling a player like injured, like they're getting an injury riddled player for after 1 year, right? Let's see if it happens again next year, right? Then the year after that, like
It took
I'm
1 year for
I'm even trying to stay away from calling Saquon injury riddled running back because I haven't. He's played. It's happened twice, right? Let's see it again, and let's see it with different injuries, right? One ACL tear takes you off for the entire year, so yeah, it looks like you're injured, but it's one injury, right? Now Kittle, it's repeated. It's these minor injuries, no minor hamstring, right? I think he had a knee sprain at one point. It's these kind of repetitive, smaller things that are much more concerning.
He's hiding stuff. You can
Oh,
tell.
yeah. Well, maybe
He's-
not. Maybe not from. Maybe from the press. I don't know if he's hiding it from the team, but the press might not know. We might not know.
I'd say even from the team, I'm willing to bet he has several sprains that he's not talking about.
Probably some rib stuff. He's a tight end. All right, we're pretty much out of time on that topic. I want to add one more thing. People are saying, "Oh, this is the second time Kyle Shanahan's lost in the playoffs. Been eliminated from the playoffs when they're up by 10 in the fourth quarter." Yes, he's blown leads. 10 points is not a lot, especially in just the entirety of the fourth quarter. Right? Like that's
if you've blown 10 points with the ball, that's one thing. But 10 points when the other team has the ball, I don't really count that as a lead at that point because the other team hasn't really had a chance to respond to those 10 points.
I don't know.
It wasn't like
know.
the 21-3 thing where the Chiefs could have easily punched in another touchdown or two.
Had the ball again.
Yeah. It's entirely different meaning, the choke.
Yeah. Now Shanahan does have a
last thing I want to add to this. Donald's still an up in God. I was watching that game, and literally every play he was past the two guys that were double teaming him.
Yeah, this is what you see with the best playoff players, right? They are a little bit neutralized, right? Numbers wise, but their job is now to still make their impact, right? Donald was neutralized statistics wise. I don't think he had a sack. No, they had a sack, right? But he put pressure on him, on Garoppolo. And if he wasn't getting direct pressure, he was absorbing linemen, right? And
Ramsey
that
needs
forces
to step up.
He did.
I'm going to be honest.
But if you have a line where they're focused on Aaron Donald, that leaves Von Miller one-on-one, you're going to have problems, and we saw it last night. All right. 5 minutes. There's only one more thing left to talk about for the NFL, and that is Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Entire game hinges on two things. Can the Rams offense actually step up this week?
Consistently.
Number two, what the hell is Cincinnati going to do with Donald? With Donald.
Yeah.
That interior rush.
Now, it sounds like I'm going to forget his name. The tight end for the Bengals who got hurt. It sounds like it is just a MCL sprain.
Ozuma?
Something like that. I don't know how bad it is. It's possible he could come out for a couple plays in the Super Bowl, I guess, in 2 weeks. I don't know. I can't imagine, but it's possible. But that offense, the Rams offense is so I don't want to say hot and cold. That's not the right word for it. Because hot and cold kind of implies that they're unbalanced, like they'll be good and then bad. It's they suck for the first half and they put it together in the second half.
They're hot, maybe overall.
In general.
But they're hot and cold from play to play. One play, Stafford will sling it downfield. The next play, he'll throw it straight to the DB that can't catch the ball for some reason.
That was a punt. He muffed a punt on that. That was a muffed punt, basically. That was pathetic.
It was funny. I watched the ball come out of his hands. I'm like, that's not getting to him.
That cannot possibly be. We couldn't even see the wide receiver. And we were watching, we were just like, that can't possibly be where that ball is.
I was like, as soon as it came out of his hands, I was like, this is either going to be the best play of all time or an awful interception.
Yeah.
And I was wrong.
Somehow was neither. Yeah, I don't know how that's possible. No, I think you're right. The problem is Cincinnati's offense is somehow able to play at whatever speed it decides to. If they decide to play really fast, it'll work by some miracle. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with like you said, Donald and Von Miller. Like, how are you going to stop that rush? But if they can even limit it at all, they could get out to this massive lead, and there's nothing that LA could do about it. Like, I know they came back from whatever it was against the Niners, but with how powerful the Cincinnati offense can be, if they're up like 24-7, is there anything you can really do about it, and other than just pray to God that Ramsey wakes up and the Rams offense becomes God mode again? It's not like McVay and Zach Taylor are different coaches. They're very, very similar.
It's for me, it's on offense, it's going to be Stafford. I'm sorry. It's going to be Stafford and those
It's
receivers
not gonna be Cam Akers.
because Cam Akers is not. You would get more out of Marshawn Lynch at the moment. Cam
This man
Akers is
it
not healthy.
rushed back from an Achilles injury faster than I've ever seen anybody do it. He
And
hurt his
the thing
shoulder
is,
last week.
he's not looking like he's injured, but he's definitely being affected like he's injured.
He definitely. I don't know what it is. He's bothered. He's like, I don't want to say hobbled because he looks like full speed. There's something in his mind because that I don't think he ever fumbled as much as he did in this playoff run ever.
You know what I think it is, Ben?
just-
I think it is. I think he's actually doing okay with the injury. He's at least fighting through it. I think what's happening is his condition's lower and he's
That's true.
tired. He's getting
Definitely.
more and more.
Yeah.
McVay likes using him. So I think he's getting tired from play to play. And that's going to obviously make it so, number one, he's mentally tired. But number two, his hands are physically going to get tired. His hands and shoulders will lock on the ball.
Well, he hurt his shoulder last week.
Good at.
Right? He was questionable to return.
And the thing is, Akers cannot be fumbling with how many picks Stafford throws.
Yeah.
That's Stafford's weakness. He throws picks, like he'll throw 1 or 2 picks, basically. I guarantee there's going to be a turnover from the Rams this game.
I was just thinking about it now. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised that the Rams keep falling apart or like questionable in the first half and wake up in the second half. Statistically, Stafford's best quarter has been the third quarter his entire career. Right. So this shouldn't surprise us particularly. It's just been how consistent it is and how incompetent the rest of the team has been in a lot of the first halves we've seen. Right.
Yeah.
Over in Cincinnati, I mean, Cincinnati, we're going in depth with the Rams because Cincinnati is a pretty basic team. It's can Joe Burrow not die?
Well, we know what we're getting out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, lots of points and giving up. The fact they limited Mahomes to 24 points, like I know Mahomes was out of it. I know that offense was a disaster, but you still limited playoff Mahomes to 24 points. Like that. That's
Cincinnati
something.
just hasn't been screwing up. That's all
Yeah.
they've just not been losing.
By some miracle,
When I say that, I mean,
go ahead.
Cincinnati plays in such a way that they will let the other team blow themselves up.
They will.
The only team that hasn't done that, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
But that team was not talented enough.
That was one of the best game. That was the best game of that round.
That's a weird thing to say that the Raiders are the team least blowing themselves and shooting themselves in the foot. That's a weird sentence.
Well, they did it with their coach.
Well, they just did it. So no, but I think what's been really weird. I don't know what Burrow said coming into the playoffs this year, but I have to imagine it was Burrow, not Zach Taylor. Something was said, and the O line and D line just were like, "We're winning," and they've been winning at the line, and I don't know how they did that.
Last game
they did it. They did it well enough. The previous round, they've been
9 sacks.
That was not great. They
9
won enough.
Sacks?
They
what
won
are you on about?
They won enough.
They won the line yesterday, but not 9 sacks, dude. And you know why they're winning it? They're only winning it really on defense, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Offensively, they've not been doing it at all. And what they did with the adjustment is Burrow is throwing it immediately.
He is.
He's either throwing it immediately or running for his life. You could basically take away the offensive line. And
the running for his life part is just to see if Jamar Chase can get open.
Oh yeah, no, it's just seeing if something can get open.
What was fascinating with last week was they limited Jamar Chase to the first half, first 3 quarters, honestly. Right now, the first half, that's when the Bengals offense was most suspect. But it's not like into the third quarter, Jamar Chase suddenly woke up at the half. He woke up later in the third quarter. He was very limited, but Burrow was still able to get the ball in the right place. Right? I mean, that's a talented wide receiver group. Does not get a lot of credit for it because it's so funny to just say, ha, 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 Jamar Chase, go zoom.
Yeah. So Jamar Chase had 6 receptions for 54 yards.
Oh, he barely woke up at all. I think most of it was fourth quarter, but yeah.
I think he had 1 run for 3 yards.
All right. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. They're going to have Ramsey on Chase, but Ramsey will sometimes just get kind of toasted, and it's kind of
Ramsey is an average man coverage guy.
He is, but they're going to still run man-to-man coverage.
He's the best cornerback in the league for zone by far. But man, he gets toasted once per game.
He does, and it's always hilariously funny. McVay's gonna have an interesting game plan, I'm sure, because he's gonna be rushing. Like, how many do you rush? Like 2 or 3, like 3 or 4? Like, you're not gonna be blitzing this O line. You're gonna let the O line kind of fall apart on
I'd
its own.
imagine McVay's going to come out overcoaching this, but
Probably.
that's my prediction.
What somebody said about the Bengals O line is that they're very athletic. So this concept that they should drop back and protect is stupid, because that's how, like, if you have an athletic guy who's weaker, you don't want them to just fall back and play back because they're going to get beat. They're going to get shoved backwards. They were saying they should go out and start attacking to try to force the other side
And let
out of position.
Donald slip
And
by you. And
they were talking about Kansas City, where their leading pass rushers, what, like, I don't even know.
Van Clark, who is known for pushing the pile, which makes sense.
This O line is going to have to get a total rebuild over the offseason, but they're in the Super Bowl, so it doesn't really matter. But so that is all for now. We will maybe post next week, depending on how much news there actually is. Keep looking for those scouting reports to keep coming out. Those coaching updates, those coaching suggestions. Those will be out regularly. As soon as we get MLB news, we'll post that. But there is nothing to talk about with the MLB right now. So keep an eye out for all that stuff.
Freddie Freeman's going to the Dodgers.
How would that possibly work?
Dodgers have a lot of money. Freddie, free agent.
Where does Max Muncy go? He's still under contract. Although, who knows? By that point of the year, we might have a universal DH. But that is all for today. Have a good rest of your day. I'm posting this probably never.